Hello and welcome to Peerlyst Community TV. I'm Frank Olhurst, your host today, and we're going to talk about the dangers of web scraping and how that can lead to data breaches. My guest expert is Dominick Fuccillo, VP of Corporate Development over at Distil Networks. Dominick knows all about web scraping and can offer us some insights on how it has become a major security problem out there. Hi, Dominick, and thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Frank. Really appreciate the time, and look forward to start putting in some content to the Peerlyst community.
Oh, great. Thank you. What exactly is web scraping? It's a strange term.
Yep. Web scraping is using automated computer programs or bad bots to extract large amounts of data from websites. So rather than viewing a website in Chrome one page at a time, you write a scripting program to view every page, copy the specific data you want, and then store it in your own database.
How does this actually harm security, and what's the danger here? It just sounds like a nifty way to gather information.
Yeah, well, it is gathering information. Some people call it data theft. Another security concern is brownouts and delays. So websites can spend millions of dollars aggregating unique data sets just to have them stolen for next to nothing. If you're a business directory, bad bots can scrape every piece of information you have on the businesses to create a similar website, which hurts your SEO. In terms of infrastructure, bad bots work. Their request amounts are considerably faster than any human could go through a website. So you can have brownouts and delays due to the spikes in traffic. So it's accidental DDoS. We have seen websites where over 30% of the traffic is actually bad bots. And as a result, you can see these spikes where this website goes down for a couple minutes or it's delayed due to someone just writing a bad bot. They're not trying to take down your site. They're actually just trying to extract all your information, and that creates a line where your good users and your desirable traffic can't get through.
So basically, all comes down to these bad bots and mining the data.
Well, web scraping and data mining is about letting your dev team focus on serving only desirable traffic and not letting competitors beat you with your own data. Bad bots are about a lot more. The truth is, bad bots can be used in a number of different ways, and none of them are designed to make your website money. And all of them are designed to take advantage of your web infrastructure.
So these bad bots do other types of damage as well, then?
Absolutely, and this is actually our company, Distil Networks, is one of the main reasons why a lot of customers use us. Bad bots are the henchmen of hackers and fraudsters. So for instance, when Target had a breach of 40 million credit cards, all of those hackers were able to write bots to test those credit cards on different websites. So when you heard about that Russian hacking group that had the 1.2 billion usernames and passwords, for instance, they went on Namecheap and they did what's called a brute force login attempt where they wrote a bot and they were able to test out each username and password and figure out which accounts they could get in. And then when they got in, that's where all the real security concerns happen. If somebody's logging into a website with a bot, it's fraud. No one would actually write a computer program to go log in. It's a lot easier to do through Chrome. It's a lot easier to do through Internet Explorer. So 100% of these logins are fraud. And that's a big reason why our customers use us because, rather than serve a CAPTCHA at every single turn, which can be beat by a lot of the more advanced hackers, they actually can get this full security knowing that, hey, let's get rid of this one section of the security problem because it's an ever-growing problem.
So how can our viewers out there keep these bad bots at bay?
So the first thing to do is, and this is one of the key parts of it, is just analyzing your data. If you see an IP that's hitting you a ton of times, chances are it's a bot. Now, if you see an IP making these unrealistic requests, or if you see it coming from an area where it shouldn't be coming from, that's like a pretty standard 101 way of doing it, and you can usually make those changes on your firewall and block those IPs. Now, this is what we call a little bit of a whack-a-mole technique, because, for instance, in the Namecheap breach, that hacking group actually came at Namecheap from 30,000 different IPs. So when they were giving releases, talking to their customers, saying, "Hey, look, we've already blocked 30,000 IPs," and the attack was still coming. So IPs, while they're kind of very low-level line of defense, and you can get some good people, get some bad actors, it's really difficult to get the more advanced actors on it. So you really want to think about creating a way to fingerprint each user and go beyond just analyzing that as an IP, and actually kind of have more identification techniques beyond the IP.
Oh,
And next, this is also just another low-level way, but thinking about not allowing your website to be accessed via curl scripts and clear bot user agents. So if someone's coming at you just from the command line, you should be able to know that and identify that and make sure that it's not happening. And that can actually clear up about 50% of the bad bots that we see. Because most of them are pretty low-level people just trying to test it out. The more advanced guys, for instance, in the Namecheap case, those hackers were actually using software that was emulating real browsers. So this technique needs to be adjusted as new automation technologies are released.
wow. Any other tips that you can think of?
Well, I guess coming from me, on kind of the business side of things, is when you're kind of looking at it from a business perspective, what I always kind of say is ask your developers not, do we have a bot security problem or are we able to block a lot of bots? Ask them to either scrape all your data or try to do a brute force login attack. I think, there's so many talented developers out there and that's what they like doing. They like problem solving. And then, what we've seen with security is website security is an evolving process. And it's easy to say we do enough, but it's unfortunately getting even easier to get around minimum security best practices. So when you kind of think of security from, I guess, kind of as a push, when you're, centric model, you can say, oh, we do all this stuff and we've set up this perimeter. But when you think about it from, the red team perspective of, hey, can we break into this website? It becomes a lot easier to figure out where you're vulnerable. So it's always a good kind of idea to say, hey, if I was actually trying to hack into this, what could I do?
Wow, wow. Sounds like very good advice. Thanks for that information and thanks for joining us today. We're about out of time.
Okay. Well, no, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Always great to talk to you again. And, the Peerlyst community really seems like something that's great for, myself as in the security field, great for Distil Networks, the company. And really looking forward to contributing more to the community and hearing what others have to say.
Great. That's all we have for today. Thanks for watching. And those seeking more information on web scraping, bots, and data theft, please be sure to visit our blogs over at Peerlyst. And don't forget to take a look at Distil Network's product page. And be sure to follow Dominick on Peerlyst as well. Thanks again, Dominick.
All right. Thanks a lot, Frank.